Good afternoon. Today's Monday the 29th of July and welcome to Saba's Way of Life. It's been a while since I've shared a video. The last one was in Crete in a beautiful beach which was quite tricky to get to. You can go back and have a look. Those of you who have been following the channel for a while will know that I discuss a way of life that inspires and brings harmony and help to bring harmony into your own world and inspire you to take action and create or carve out your own life, which is absolutely, indisputably our human given ability to do that. I'm not going to talk about the word right. It is our right, but it's really all about how we perceive. And so when I speak to you, you will only be able to perceive what I'm saying from your own lens of perception, not just from your eyes, your ears, but how you view the world, which comes from, number one, your conditioning, from birth, and even your past lives historically, when we understand how the soul works. So today's video, again, I only shoot when I'm inspired to do so. I cannot share messages or a video when my mind is busy or I'm in an activity doing something. It's never, oh, I haven't shot a video for a week, let me do it now. No, I've got to feel inspired. And often that inspiration comes after not even moments, but times of silence, so that when I speak, I'm often, though not always, speaking from my heart and the mind that operates from the heart, not the mechanical, logical and reasoned left-brained mind. I never speak from that. It's always from the right brain. But living as a human being, as the experience of a human being in this flesh and blood and the ability to touch things, and the epoch that we're living in, which is very much, or was very much, an epoch of mechanical structure that's dying now. It's much more difficult to share what I'm trying to say and share with you in a metaphoric, esoteric manner for you to absorb it, because these understandings, or inner standings as I often use, cannot be displayed or explained through a language. So they're perceived and felt through a lens of perception that we don't see ordinarily, albeit now that is changing, because we are moving out of the age of darkness into the age of light. I've talked about this in many previous videos. So I've been away for 6 weeks, and some wonderful, almost miraculous events have taken place, which, when I say miraculous, I want you to perceive it from a third dimensional human way. It isn't miraculous to me anymore, because these things are happening minute by minute, day by day, hour by hour in my world at the moment, simply because my lens of perception has changed, and that's because I've worked very hard to understand who I am and who we are, and in the process of doing that, shared a lot of that with you in the hope that those of you who are inspired and who feel something may also work on that aspect of yourself too. We are now at a fork. We were at a fork a while ago. I'm not going to keep saying we're at a fork and we're going one way or the other way. It's already happened, and many have chosen the path that they want to take. Many have gone the third dimensional route and the route of the artificial way of living, which we've been living for thousands of years now, but it's on steroids. And then others are choosing the path of nature and the principles of nature. I'm not just talking about the trees and the birds and the bees. The principles of nature, which will always take precedence over everything. Nature always does what she wants to do in the end. She'll always do it. So when you take the path of nature's principles, and that means that you surrender to yourself completely, knowing that we're not really this human body, where we are, we have interdimensional qualities within us, which are light, as in heavy light, and as in light, the sunlight beings, and we are infinite beings, which means that we're able to do anything if we know how to connect to that. And to connect to that, one has to let go and surrender about everything you think you know. So you actually stop thinking from that mind and you start cohering with your heart mind. And rather than try to read a book to understand that, one of the best ways of doing that is just to sit in silence and understand that we are multidimensional beings and things are changing. Even all the information that you've been told from before, a lot of it is New Age nonsense, but all the information that we have read, even about the chakras and so on, a lot of that is going. The epoch is changing, and it's understanding that we are very simple, that we are multidimensional beings. We have a technology, we are a technology itself. The entire mainstream third dimensional computer technological society is mimicking nature's technology. The few know that. I'm very clear on that. And the days of conspiracy theory, actually conspiracy is truth, and it's all being exposed now. So it's not even a question of if, why, when. Is that something you believe in? No, it's something it's evident to me. I don't even want to say I'm right, because it's no right or wrong. It's very evident to me. If it's not evident to you, that's okay too. And we are living now in the epoch where we have the ability much more easily to, because of the age of light that's coming in, the light that's flooding in, which are full of codes that are coming in through our eyes and other parts of our body, to be able to give us the knowledge, the ledger of knowing, to figure everything out without using mainstream mechanical logic and reason. Okay, I hope I'm making some sense. And that has been happening in such a way in my own life that literally one aspires to something, and I ask the various dimensions of myself, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, you could call it your higher self for want of a better word, the other aspect of who we are, not the mechanical, and it happens. And it happens because for those who are really connecting to their source, are really considering themselves as part of nature, which means part of humanity, for the betterment of humanity. Nothing to better themselves, for themselves, from an ego perspective. That's wiped out. It doesn't exist. And so it's very it's going to be, you know, it's quite a precarious position to be in, because it's easy to fall into your third dimensional living and become disconnected again. But see, once you're connected and you understand who you are, you can't undo that, and you'll very quickly come back to that when you engage in a state of silence. I've actually had 24 hours of silence after 6 weeks, and it's been very much needed, and it's been amazing. Although my 6 weeks were amazing, some great things have happened, and I'll share things with you in next videos, life-changing things, and I'm extraordinarily grateful and very, very happy indeed. But it's also very important to recognize that we must connect with ourselves, and that there has to be that balance. I've had that balance in the last 24 hours, especially in the last 5 or 6, and it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful feeling. It's like you're charging your solar battery. This is all metaphoric and symbolic, back to your source, and connecting to a divine spark that we are. And, you know, it affects every part of your physical being, but more importantly, it's almost going back to a state of love within the heart that sometimes we become disconnected from. It's very hard to explain, but I know those of you who are watching who are that way inclined will know what I mean. Anyway, today I'm going to be cooking in the kitchen. I'm going to be baking. I'm going to bake a fruit cake. I'm going to bake a couple of loaves of wholemeal, organic wholemeal Scottish wheat flour bread. Haven't done it in a while, and I'm going to share some dishes with you. I'll do a lot of those, sharing bits and pieces on Instagram, and I'm focusing a lot now on vegetarian cooking. You probably thought, I'll never hear Saba say that, because I am a heavy meat eater, or I was. And I'm not suggesting that I'm going vegetarian. Be careful how you perceive what I'm saying. It's a new understanding that recently I've been cooking for someone who is vegetarian, and respecting that fact and trying to understand the nature of food and using different spices by learning from different areas on how different spices can affect the nature of vegetarian foods. And I've been pleasantly surprised. The most important thing that I'm concerned about is making sure that we get the nutritional integrity that we need from vegetables. However, with the light, the flares that are coming in, we are moving to a place now where the dense nature of meat won't be needed as much. Let's put aside the concept of killing animals or not killing. I'm not going to talk about that, because there are individuals, and like myself, that absolutely needed meat protein, and I did that to heal. I consider meat a healer. It's a medicine. But because we're all sick, you know, the world has been sick for so long, they've needed that to stay alive. And because our soils have been so damaged, we're not getting the light from the soil, the food and the light, basically the light of being. But that is changing, and so I'm going to share bits and pieces with you as we go on. But yeah, I have made some extraordinary. I'm going to be making a mushroom dish tomorrow morning and a paneer dish, but a creamy almond one with some wonderful herbs and spices and fenugreek and other things that go in it, just delicate spices. So this is just a touch base with you, and keep an eye on my Instagram account as well, where I'll just put pictures up for you when I can, and I've got the time at the moment. And I'm also going to be sharing on Instagram some of the wonderful sceneries that I saw in Crete. Crete in the hills was like living in paradise on earth. It is a paradise on earth. It's an island surrounded by the Mediterranean on one side, the Libyan Sea on the other side. It has an extraordinary history. As you know, it's in Greece. Extraordinary diverse history. There's a lot going on under the water, but there's a huge amount going on above the water in the mountains. And you can see by the way the hills are constructed, there's pyramidal structures everywhere. Very powerful energies. But the fruit that's growing, literally falling off the trees, wild avocado trees falling off, cars driving up the precarious mountainside, crushing the avocados, plums, sweet yellow plums just falling into your hands that taste like this sugar sweet. I mean, I can't even explain. Oranges, lemons, walnuts, figs, the herbs galore. I'm munching on fennel stalks everywhere. And that's the true medicine, and that is how we should be living. Coming back here, I have recognised without exception that this is, I've always known it was a prison, but it is a prison of prison. It is the most dangerous, limiting way. We have forgotten who we are and what our absolute right to abundance is. Not abundance of money as you think of money, abundance of being able to live in harmony with nature, and nature providing and taking just what you need from nature, so there's a symbiotic relationship and of giving back. And that's what I found in the mountains and in the villages and in the people very down-to-earth, straightforward, loving, caring people of Crete. Cretans, they don't consider themselves Greek, not up in the mountains. They wouldn't tell you that, but they do when they get to know you. They're not Greek. They're not Greek. They say we're Cretans. Amazing history. More about that. I'll share images in Instagram, so have a look. And for now, I hope you have a lovely day. I hope I've inspired you to carry on with your own work that you're doing to free yourself, to free yourself of yourself, and to practice self-surrender, vulnerability, and change your perception and spend time, a lot of time daily in silence. Practice it. Have a lovely day.